Hello, this is Poo Noob, and this is a review of Karma Incarnation 1. And with me, I'm not doing this review alone, yay! No longer alone. With me is my good buddy who also does YouTube, Foehamner.
Hello.
So yes, Karma Incarnation 1. Let me bring up the info thing. And obviously I have to mention it because this is how professional we are. Holy shit, you played 5 hours of it.
I had to replay it like 3 times.
Basically, the game takes about an hour and a half to 2, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, so like when you say that, that's like getting a bad ending and then a good ending. It's like 2 hours.
Oh, how many hours did I play? Because I did, like, you said the bad ending and then the good ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played 2 hours.
Okay, that sounds about right.
So 5 hours is actually really long
So I'm curious.
for this game.
I'm curious. So the game is called Karma Incarnation 1 because it is part 1 of presumably 3 parts. I'm curious if parts 2 and 3 are going to be separate games, like Karma Incarnation 2, or if it's going to be more like DLC or something.
DLC on the same page, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's not, then we have to buy Karma Incarnation 2
It's
and 3.
going to be annoying. I think that's what they're
it
going to
is.
do, probably.
Yeah, because I wouldn't name my game Karma Incarnation 1 if it's not gonna be like separate things. It would just be called Karma Incarnation, and then now it's episode 1.
It would be strange.
Later. So basically, Karma Incarnation 1 or Karma Incarnation is a game developed by Aura Lab, published by Other Kind Games. I believe this is their first developed game and also their first published game.
Oh.
So it's basically a trippy point-and-click adventure.
Sure.
Where you play I don't even know what the fuck we play as. A black blob thing with a small little tail that can eat almost anything he wants.
Like, if you saw a screenshot of this game, most of the time, you'd probably think someone was playing World of Goo.
Ah, yeah, because exactly. The art style. Okay, so the game is really good looking.
Yeah.
The art style is really beautiful. It has very deep blacks, and the background is really colorful. It's very good looking, and it does look like World of Goo. And I remember saying it looks like World of Goo crossed with something else.
Did I say Neverhood?
Is it Neverhood?
I don't remember what I said.
I can't remember what I said as well. But one of your Let's Play videos,
The very first one, I think.
you
The
mentioned
one I did like
that,
a year ago.
Oh no, the one that I watched was the one that you did for this latest new.
Okay. The run towards the release.
Yeah. One of the, because I was thinking this as well, but I forgot to mention it. But you mentioned that it kind of looked like Samurai Jack in a way, and I totally agree.
It's yeah. It's because I don't know, just the bad guy and like the cosmic beings. Yeah, it really reminded me of Aku and his backstory.
And you call the so one part of the game you'll get like a transport, which is like a big rectangle thing, and it has tentacles everywhere. And you said it looks like a Cthulhu TARDIS, which is really fucking brilliant. I did not think
because it's a
of that at
box
all.
with tentacles and eyes, and like it doesn't fly around. Sometimes it flies around, but a lot of time it just like, you know, breaks the fourth dimension and it drains out of the scene like it's a liquid all of a sudden.
Okay, so
it's very creative.
So you play a small little blob trying to get back 3 artifacts. And this artifact presumably protects the planet that you're on or something.
So actually, this is the confusion.
Field.
I misunderstood this as well. I believe... Oh, no, you're right. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it protects the planet you're currently on. Because, so, like, the big bad not Aku thing, which took the 3 artifacts that protects the planet, that thing was like spit out by a bigger evil, right? Like a big evil comes and spits the tiny evil through the force field so the little evil can break the force field.
This is not spoilers, by the way. This is like the opening sequence.
I just didn't understand it because there's no, it's very, you know, visual.
Yeah, because the game uses entirely visual clues to tell you what's happening.
Which
There's
I
no
like.
dialogue and all. Yeah, it's really cool. I think that's pretty unique. Reminds me sort of like Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, where it basically doesn't really use any, because even the language is like made up. It doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah. Rada, 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 rada.
But of course they have the advantage of using tone.
Yes, that's true.
India,
Inflection.
Yeah. But basically in Karma Incarnation, it only uses like thought bubbles to show what's happening, and then you kind of
Pictures.
have to guess what's happening. But most of the time, you probably will guess. It's the opening sequence that's the most confusing one.
Yeah.
I'd say.
The game is
So-
pretty good at giving you hints. Like they're very.
Yeah.
It's usually pretty clear what it wants you to do.
So, what you think about the game?
I really liked it. I think.
Because you played the demo last year.
Yeah. So I played the demo last year, which is basically just the tutorial of the main game, and like if I had
So like the
only-
starting area, right?
Yeah, exactly, the starting area. When you first
Right at
learn
about where
about
you
like the
meet the lady?
psychedelic powers. What?
Right. Right at about where you met the lady or something.
Exactly. Right after you meet the lady, the first thing after that. And so if that had been my only exposure to the game, had been that demo, I think this full version of part 1, I would have like been completely it's just more of that. It's basically exactly what I wanted. Like more exploring of a fantastical place. It's not super open world. Like, I mean, you can travel wherever you want, kind of whenever you want with your Cthulhu TARDIS, but for the most part, you never, like maybe 1 or 2 times do you ever really have to use something from somewhere else in a different place. Like most of the puzzles are fairly self-contained in like the biome that you're in. So I actually kind of liked that. Because like for this in particular, I wasn't really, the puzzles and the story weren't like my first prerogatives. It's mostly just like the look and sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, it does sound really good. Not just the music. The music is awesome. My favorite music is the one like on the beach with that like, funky Jamaican. I don't know.
do like that one. I think there's one sound like the very first time you fly to the beach. There's kind of like when you first get in the Cthulhu TARDIS. There's like a cutscene, like an extended travel scene, and the music during that I really like.
Yeah. And also we mentioned that we guess there's going to be 3 episodes because there are 3 artifacts that is supposed to come.
Yes, you can retrieve the 3 artifacts, and the game ends shortly after getting the first one.
Yeah. And what do you think about not clues to what's happening, but clues to what you're supposed to do? I feel sometimes it's not really clear. It's like you're not sure what's clickable and all that sometimes.
That's very true. There are some things that that the game gives you clues at very quickly. It's like, do this, dummy. Like I don't even have the first attempt. Like I finally entered the zones. Like just do this immediately. So sometimes that's okay. But there are some things that you never get clues for. Like a good example would be in the forest biome, or no, in the beach biome, like having to drag the tree to like catapult yourself. I never would have guessed that without a clue. Because I like when I'm on a PC. When I'm not on a touch screen, like clicking and dragging is not something that really ever occurs to me unless it's been explained explicitly at least once. But then like the forest zone is like really freaking hard. Like you just click on so many different things to figure out how to get through it, which is kind of nice. It's just kind of nice, but it's not easy.
Yeah, I would say that. And the game doesn't have a lot of gameplay, right? Would you say?
There's like, I think, 2 things maybe that involve timing, but that's kind of about it.
Yeah,
and I didn't like them.
And I do agree with you. The game tends to overdo the repetition thing.
Yes, like you have to click on things multiple times for no reason. Like a good example would be you get a new item which you can combine in your Cthulhu TARDIS to travel to a new place. And the first time you put this item in, your character just like he has no arms really, so he spits it like into the slot, but it bounces off the wall and hits him in the face, and it's like a little joke. But there's no reason for it, and you just have to click again, and then you do it a second time. It's like, what?
That was not so bad, because like...
That was not so bad. It's only 2, right? But
it's only 2, and the first one is, kind of funny. The worst one is that one part at that ice stage.
That part's pretty slow.
I think that's at least 3 times. At least.
I think the worst puzzle for me, though, is the leaf. There's a giant leaf.
Oh yeah, I fucking hate
It's
that.
like it's basically a maze, and the
Yeah.
thing that makes it so annoying is just the walk animation and the jump in the hole animation just takes forever. Like,
Yep.
I think doing that puzzle to completion, I'd say about like if you just stopped and started a timer for the whole duration, and you had a second timer to stop and start whenever you were doing something. I'd think you're only ever doing something maybe 20% of the time. Probably more like 10%. Like most of the time you're just waiting for your character to move to the next thing so you can make the next decision where to go in the maze. It's not a long maze. Like the whole thing only takes like a couple minutes, but it's not terribly fun or engaging.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so we're sitting on the bad things though. The game is still good. Like,
The game is still good. You mentioned as well that the game feels like an artist making a game. So it lacks the quality of life things that you would expect in a point-and-click adventure.
You
like,
cannot
moving
skip
faster.
animations.
Cannot skip animations. And I totally agree with that because the game does look beautiful, but it doesn't make sense sometimes.
Yeah, and there's a couple really weird things where like the game like indicates it's gonna like you come across the zone and you see a series of NPCs with problems, and like you never actually get to solve like 2/3 of the problems. It's like there's only like it's just there for like background filler, and it's really, I guess, disconcerting to me because I'm used to being like, okay, NPC, give me a quest, I'll solve your problem. But here it's just like I never got to solve this problem, and it bothers me.
Yep. Yeah, so the game is actually really good looking, really cool music, and it does ambient sounds pretty well as well, I feel.
Yes, one of my favorite ambient sounds. It's really silly, but in the forest zone, there's just this weird little bird guy with a tongue flying around going la 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 la.
Yeah. My favorite is the right at the start, on the top left. There's the guy with a really long like mouth and the teeth,
Yeah.
and it does that.
That's a good sound effect.
Yeah, so visually and audibly is really really good, but
Yeah.
it is pretty short, and we do assume that it's gonna be like 3 games that you have to buy separately.
That's still only a total of like 6 hours of gameplay though.
6 what? Oh yeah, 6 hours.
It's like 6 hours of gameplay total. How much is the game?
$9.
$9. That's so if that's just like $9 is what I would expect to pay for the full 3.
Oh, really?
I mean, with that short,
Yeah, it is
with
short.
almost no, with very close to no replay value.
Yeah, but if you just look at the gameplay, I would agree. But it does look good and sound good. So
I mean, the
probably
production
most of
values
the
are
time-
very high. So it's like it's one of those things where, like, I can understand how to recoup their effort. They have to make that much money, but on the other hand, compared to other games, it's a very bad ratio.
Yeah, I'll say that.
Like, I'm not saying, I definitely wouldn't say they're trying to rip you off. Like, they're not saying we need more money. It's just a case of,
Yeah, but
probably a new crew took
I'd
them
say the
longer to do
production
something.
the production value is worth that much. It's just very difficult as a game player to justify spending that money when the mechanics or the gameplay itself is so short
Right.
sometimes. But the production values is really good. The story is a bit, standard, would you say?
Pretty standard, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it though. I like the world.
Yeah,
There's not really any rules,
you're
but
mainly
it's like-
playing it for the visuals and the sound,
Yes.
I would say.
I like
I'm not
the
even sure if
trash
I'll buy
sound.
the next 2, actually.
If I have to pay $10, if I have to pay $20 total for parts 2 and 3, I would not do that.
Yeah. Because,
Sadly, I'd really, really want to, but
yeah,
it's
I'm
just a lot of
gonna
money.
guess that there's gonna be new assets that needs to be made for the next 2 games. Probably new worlds and new creatures and stuff.
probably.
So the production value and to recoup the cost would be the same as well for the first game compared to the first game. I mean, so yeah, it's quite a tough sell, but it is a good looking game though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And the reason we played the first one is because we were given the key for free by the developer.
we did get it for free.
So by the way, like disclosure, I guess. Yeah, but would you recommend it?
For $10,
It's a bit hard, right?
it really depends on what you're looking for, I guess. It's a bit hard.
if you are looking for a good, short, beautiful game to play, I'd say yes.
If money's no object,
Oh, yeah.
definitely this game is
Yeah.
it's like if the only investment you have is time, it is worth your time.
Oh, yeah. I would say that 2 hours for this game is just nice.
Yeah, it's
It's
very
like
pleasant.
any longer, I would probably feel like, feels a bit of a drag because of the animations and stuff. I don't want to keep looking at it.
Yeah.
Animations are really good too, but it's just that inability to not skip it.
Because it's yeah, the game's pretty linear.
Yeah.
If it wasn't linear, oh man, that'd be terrible. Having to like backtrack, like go over here and get this thing, then go over here and do it with this thing. It's like no.
Yeah, because value is subjective. To some
Yeah.
people, it might be worth it because, like you said, money is no object. So,
Sure.
and if you are looking for something short and something good looking to play,
Now,
and you
if
like
the,
point and click adventures,
if the $10 does get you parts 2 and 3, then it's totally worth it.
oh,
I'd say $10 for 6 hours with these values, absolutely worth it.
yep. But yeah, we doubt it, right?
I doubt it.
Yeah. Oh, you want to mention some bugs? You did get a couple
I did
of bugs.
encounter a couple of bugs. So like I guess the most basic bug is just kind of more of a glitch. Frequently, like when I see like so your character as this black blob, he stores items inside of himself. And so like let's say like somebody reaches into you to pull an item out, the layers just don't behave nicely. So like his hand will go inside of you. The item he's trying to grab will like appear on top of your body, but his hand will still be inside of you. Then as he removes his hand, the item will slide with it, and then so it'll appear like it's just on top of the hand. It doesn't look like it's inside the hand. It just like so some weird kind of animations that are weird. I noticed it a couple times as well, like going through the holes, or like there's one part where it's like a radio, and you're moving the antennas on the radio, and then the radio moves, and the antennas for me the first time stayed behind. Like the radio, sorry, he still had his antennas, but there were also copies of the antennas sitting stationary over where the radio used to sit. But the only bad bug I found happened during my second playthrough where, so you can't save the game. The game kind of just auto-saves. And it's a little bit at random. It doesn't like sometimes it'll save after important decisions, but it won't save after you've done important things. So like, there's a zone where you have to solve a bunch of puzzles. The forest zone is definitely the zone with the most clicking involved, I would say. The only time the forest zone saves is when you first arrive there. Like, so you can do all the puzzles and it won't save. Or sorry, it'll save if you quit the game. But like if you load from one of the save points, it won't load that. So the problem was I would do the forest zone. I would go to the zone I need to go to after that. And I would do what I need to do there. But I would be unable to interact with the Cthulhu TARDIS on the way out. I could go into the Cthulhu TARDIS, but I could no longer like click on it to make it fly anywhere else. And this happened like 3 times until I found this really weird workaround where I had to like set up the Cthulhu TARDIS to be able to fly before I left it. Because like if I reloaded the game from the forest zone and then I flew to the second zone, it would start me in the second zone from my important decision there, rather than from the beginning. Like it's just this really weird like sequence breaking bug. Somehow I don't even really know what caused it, but
an update did go up.
It's kind of ruinous, and the game has been patched. Like there's a little download every day.
Yeah,
they don't really tell you what they're fixing though, so I don't know.
Yeah,
because like the first time I beat the game,
is a bit lacking.
the first time I did my game, the first time I beat the game, it deleted my save, so I had to restart from scratch. I couldn't restart from any save. But the second time I beat the game, my save was saved.
Right. So yeah, let's wrap up.
Okay.
It's a difficult game to recommend, but if you think $10 is something that you can just drop anywhere, it doesn't really affect you, and you like point and clicks, do get it because it is a very beautiful game. It's a very beautiful sounding game.
I will definitely look forward to the next game from these guys. Like once they have more experience making games, I really want to see what they come up with next.
Yeah. Actually, how did you find out about this? How did you find out about the demo? And
so I played this like the demo like a year ago, like probably back when I was spending a lot of time just on like indie game forums. They probably just put their demo up.
Right. So yeah, that is Karma Incarnation 1. Oh, and a little, I guess a little tip. The name Karma do mean something.
That's true.
So we would recommend you try the bad ending first, I'd say. Would you?
I don't know that it matters.
Yeah, but it's like, when you realize it, oh, it's kind of cool.
Actually, it'll be hard not to get the bad ending first. Because that's kind of, so the game...
Yeah.
Like in like the title of the game, it's like Karma Incarnation 1, a psychedelic moral adventure or whatever it says.
Right,
Something
right.
Like it implies morals, right? The problem is the first time through the game, it's not always super clear when you're making moral decisions or not. Because like it's like your main way to communicate with things, because you can't talk, right? Your main way to communicate with things is to kind of growl. And sometimes growling is like a, quote, good moral decision, and sometimes it's a bad moral decision, and you don't really know on the first playthrough, which is a little frustrating. But I mean, I think the game handles it well. I like the way the game handles it.
Yeah. And it kind of entices you to do the bad thing as well, I feel, the first time.
Right. Like, I'm thinking of playing through again just to get the 100% bad ending.
Oh, all right.
So I've gotten like a partially bad ending, but I didn't do like every single bad decision the worst way I could possibly do it, and I want to see what happens.
So I think it would just end the same way, I feel.
I agree, but there is also a Steam achievement for it.
Ah, right. So yeah, that is Karma Incarnation 1. Do check out my other videos. I've reviewed a couple. I reviewed recently. Oh boy, fucking amazing amount of best games I've played in 2016. And check out Foehamner's Let's Play of Karma Incarnation 1.
If you want to save $10, just watch me play it.
Yeah, it's pretty short. 20 minutes for like I think you went through 7 or 8 or something.
So yeah, it's like a couple hours.
Yeah,
because that includes both a bad ending and a good ending.
Yep. So yeah, thank you very much for everyone who watched and listened to this, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.